y'all, so today's video is going to be a little different. I asked people to send me questions of stuff they would like to know about me personally, so that is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be answering those questions, but as I'm answering those questions, I will be packaging. So this will be like a get ready with me / Q&A, but I'm not getting ready, I'm getting packages ready. So get packages ready with me / Q&A, something like that. So all I'm doing now, I'm pulling up the labels on my laptop. As most of y'all know, I create all my shipping labels through ShipStation, which is connected through my website. I have a whole video about ShipStation and how I ship out my packages. So if you want to know like how I go about getting all of the order details and making the shipping labels and stuff, check out one of my other videos. People always ask me what type of printer I have. I really have a basic printer. I don't even know if y'all can see it. I don't use a special printer. I just use a basic, regular, everyday printer. Labels. So I have 4 wigs that are shipping out today. So these are the labels. And the adhesive paper I get from Amazon. So this is the first wig. It's 14-inch Malaysian kinky curly wig. All right. So the first question is, what do I do for fun? Y'all, honestly, I'm boring. I don't have fun. When I do get out the house to actually do something, it's probably like going to the movies, going shopping, going out to eat, or getting my nails and my feet done. Like when I get out the house, that's what I'm doing. But I don't know. I feel like I'm pretty boring. Like to do for fun. I just like to get out the house though. I don't like being in the house all day. I feel like I'm stuck in the house all day. So just getting out of the house. One thing I enjoy that I've recently been doing a lot is traveling. So traveling is very fun. Just getting out of my house, getting out the house. That's fun for me. Okay, so either I ran out of hair nets or I lost them, because I don't see not one hair net. And so someone asked, do I have friends? She wrote, do you really have friends? Never seen you with anyone before, always on your own. I really don't have friends. Okay, so I really don't have friends. And honestly, it's like, there have been times in my life when I did have friends. So maybe like growing up, I would have friends at school or friends that live in the same neighborhood as me. But my friends at school, they always just remained my friends at school. I never hung out with them outside of school. And then my friends in the neighborhood that I would live in, like we would be friends, but once my parents, they moved around a lot. So we would probably move like every 3 to 4 years or something like that. So every time we moved, I lost contact with all of those friends. So it's just like, and every time I would leave a school, so you're only in elementary school for so long. You're only in middle school for so long. You're only in high school for so long. So every time I would like change schools, like, you know, go from elementary school to middle school or middle school to high school, that kind of was just like the end of the friendship. Like, I don't know. I don't really keep in touch with people. I'm really bad with keeping in touch with people. I will follow you on social media, but I just feel like sometimes, I don't know. For me, I just feel like I always grow. Not saying other people don't grow, but I don't know. I don't know. So I'm not one of those people that have like a best friend, a best friend for 20 years. We've known each other since elementary or something like that. I don't have no friends like that. But I will say, I have about 3 people that I would say I'm close to. It's just when you become an adult, everybody have different schedules. Everybody got like different things going on in life. So as of now, it's just a matter of us making time for one another. It's about 3 people that I would consider friends, and one would be my cousin. I love her. We kind of started back seeing each other again recently. I need to go and check up on her again, so I'll probably be reaching out to her shortly to spend some time with her. It's just been hard getting our schedules to match. My next friend is from high school. Her name is Lavana, but we call her Noodle. And honestly, it's my fault. Like, I never reach out to her. I never reach out to her. And we just always talk about like how we gonna link up. And it's always me. It's always me, y'all. It's always me. But she just hit me up recently, like, you know, we really got to start hanging out more. And honestly, now that I work from home, my schedule is free now. So, you know, I don't have that excuse of being at work and not meeting up with my schedule. So we'll probably start hanging out a lot more together. My last friend, the last person I would call a friend, we met in college. So she was really there for me. You know, when I found out I was pregnant with Jaden and had to drop out of college and everything. So I really don't have hairnets, y'all. Which, that's fine. That's fine. Hairnets aren't necessary. But she was just there for me in college, especially when I was going through my pregnancy and everything. The only thing is I live in Jacksonville and she lives in Miami. So she's like 6 hours away. So yeah, so you're not gonna see me hanging out with anyone. You're not gonna see a person like that I'm calling my BFF and we're taking pictures and we go everywhere together. It's just, you're not gonna see that. Outside of those 3 people, I don't really have friends. I will say I have a lot of associates, people that I would, if I see in person, I'll talk to them, I'll speak. I'd be like, hey, how you doing? How's life going? And that's about it. And that's about it. Maybe this weird, but it's not laying down flat over here. So I'm just gonna flatten it out some with this hot comb before we ship it out. Someone asked if I'm married. No, I'm not married. No rings. Yeah, I'm not married. I don't know. I'm not married. I don't really feel no way about marriage. I think it would be nice to get married, but right now, I just feel like it may be too soon. My parents are probably the reason why I don't feel a need to rush marriage. My parents been together my entire life, but they didn't get married until I was like in high school. So they didn't get married till I was like in high school. So I don't feel a rush. I don't feel a rush to get married. If I was to get proposed to now, that wouldn't be an issue. But I will say this, when it comes to marriage, I will say this much. I'm not in a rush to be married, but I'm also not gonna be in a relationship with someone like 5 years without being married. Okay with not being married right now, but I feel like once you get to the 3-year mark of being in a relationship with someone, it's like the relationship's supposed to be progressing and moving. So if after like 3 years you've been in a relationship with someone and you don't know if you want to marry them or not, then I feel like that's an issue. I gotta take pictures of these wigs, this one and this one. I gotta take pictures of these two before I ship them out, actually. So, but yeah, I don't really feel no pressure to get married or anything. But I will say I'm not gonna be sitting around with someone for too long, you know. Someone asked, what skin products do I use? I don't use any skin products. Okay, so people ask me that all the time. They always like, Ebony, what do you use on your face? Your skin is so clear. I don't use anything. I don't use anything. I just use water. When I take a bath, I let some water hit my face. When my face gets too oily, I use clean and clear, like some $5 clean and clear from Walmart. The Morning Burst kind. It's orange. So when my face starts getting really oily, I will wash my face with that. But honestly, I don't put any products on my face. I will say we drink a lot of water in this household, so maybe it's the fact that I intake a lot of water. I honestly don't know. Maybe it could be because I detox every month. Like our juice, like make my own fruit juice, or it could be the fact that I drink a lot of coconut water. I'm not sure. But then again, like when it comes to like breaking out and stuff, even when I was going through puberty and stuff, puberty, like even when I was a preteen and stuff, when I used to break out, I used to get the smallest bumps. Like I never had huge pimples or anything like that. So I don't know if it's just, I don't know. Maybe I just have small pores or something. I honestly don't know. So I still package all of my wigs the same way in the video. Now I did order some boxes for wigs, and I can't wait for those to come in the mail, and you know, that way they can ship out in boxes instead of having to be wrapped up in tissue paper all the time and stuff. So I do have some boxes coming, because I know some people, it's always some people that comment under my video like, why you do it? Why you wrap up your wigs that way? And blah, blah, blah. Listen, it works. It works. My customers don't complain. So yeah, whose wig is this? 14-inch. Okay. And then I just kind of like write their name so that I know whose wig belong to who. Right, so this is a Afro Kiki curly wig that I'm shipping out. This hair is so pretty. Someone said, where do you live? I live in Northeast Florida, so I live in Jacksonville, Florida. It's about 5 to 6 hours away from Miami driving. It's about 2 to 3 hours away from Orlando, about 1 hour away from Daytona, about 2 to 3 hours away from Tampa, just to give a reference. So yeah, I live in Jax. A lot of people watch my videos and they don't even know, like they live in Jax. And even though like when I used to be at work and I work downtown, I mean I live downtown too. I work downtown and I would have our bridges, like one of our main bridges, the main bridge, and people are still like it won't even click. But once I tell people like I'm from Jacksonville, they'll be like, I thought those bridges looked familiar. That's when they'll be like, oh, I thought it looked familiar. Say, how did you meet Mario? How I met Mario? So I met Mario. I met Mario in middle school, y'all. So in middle school, we had all the same elective classes because I guess they put us in electives based off our last name. So my last name started with an M, his last name started with a P. So we had the same electives in school. And I remembered him because he used to always mess with me, right? He would always mess with me, kind of like, you know how like a sibling will mess with you and get on your nerves, like just always irritate you or whatever. So he would always mess with me like that every time. And there's a lot of hair. I don't know how I'm gonna wrap this one up. So he would always mess with me every time. And literally sat behind me in gym and PE. He sat behind me. And when he was in school, When he was in school, he used to be kind of like a troublemaker. He used to get in trouble a lot. So I remember he got kicked out. I remember he got kicked out of school. I remember that. And I remember showing up to like my elective classes and he wasn't there to like aggravate me or get on my nerves. And then I started like feeling a certain way. I was like, I started missing him, which was weird because he was super annoying and everything. And then I think like, that's when I realized I liked him. That's when I realized I liked him. I had the biggest crush on him.
You have to just tell the teacher.
Tell the teacher what? What are you talking about, baby?
Tell the teacher and the boy mess with you. Like,
I'm talking about Mario.
why?
I'm talking about when me and Mario was in school. We used to go to school together. Like, you know how when you're in middle school and high school or whatever, you have crush, like, well, maybe not high school, but I know when I was in middle school, I had a crush on a lot of people. And he was one of the people I had a crush on. And I remember telling my best friend at the end of the school year, I was like, girl, you won't believe who I had a crush on. So I had a huge crush on him, but he was, you know what? He was always like, he was in a relationship with someone then. And I always had a crush on him. I mean, even when I was in high school, I still had a crush on him. Like if I was to see him out in public, like my whole face would just do this. I would just blush. But he always had a girlfriend. But I remember after, because I used to be so shy. I remember after the 8th grade, that summer before high school, I used to be really popular on MySpace, y'all. Yes, MySpace. I used to have like 20,000 friends and stuff on MySpace. And I used to have this chat room on my MySpace page. And he used to always join in on my chat room. And that's when we really started to create like a bond. And that's when we really started, that's when we really created like a bond. We started talking, talking. I don't know if we started talking to each other then, but I do remember reconnecting with him right before I went off to college. So like my 12th grade year and right before I went off to college and stuff, he had picked me up from my parents' house. Yeah, I think this maybe my 12th grade, I don't remember. My 12th grade year, I remember going on a date with him. He picked me up, from my house or whatever. And yeah, I don't know. He just always been super sweet. Like I always liked him. I always had a crush on him. I always liked him. And he always was just the sweetest person. Like a sweetheart. Like he can joke around and he can play and all that stuff like that. But he is just so sweet to women. That's what I always liked about him. And I don't know. Around the time, like before I went off to college, I was talking to him and I was talking to Jaden's biological dad at the same time. And I ended up going with Jaden's biological dad. I should have chosen Mario. But I ended up choosing Jaden's whatever. And yeah, somehow Mario just worked himself right back into my life again. And like I said, the thing I love about him the most is that he hasn't changed. He's always treated me the same way from the time I've met him all the way up until now. He always been a sweetheart. He's always been super funny. And yeah, it's funny how life works. Because I was in a whole relationship. When I went to college and stuff, after I had Jaden, I was in a whole relationship with someone for years, and coming out of that relationship was really hard and difficult. Like that was probably like my first heartbreak or whatever. Like I never had anyone break up with me before. And Like, after being with someone for so long, and I just wanted so much out of that relationship. Like, I was ready to get married. I was ready to have kids because we had been together for such a long time. And it's just like, it was just a disconnect. He broke up with me. Dang, I never talked about this. When he broke up with me, I lost everything. Get out of my mouth. Jaden all up in my mouth. When he broke up with me, I lost everything because we were living together. He ended up getting a job opportunity in Georgia, which I didn't know about. It was kind of like a last minute thing that I found out about. And I was just like, okay, that's cool. Like, you know, you get situated in Georgia. They was paying him a lot of money. I was like, you know what, that's cool. You get situated in Georgia or whatever, and, you know, start looking for apartments and stuff. We can move up there with you. Y'all, I was in my business. I was in my first year of business. Business was doing pretty good. I've never had a hard time finding a job, so I didn't feel stressed out about having to relocate somewhere and, you know, find another job. I wasn't stressed at all. I just wanted to be with the person that I loved at the time, you know? And like, I would always ask him, like, have you been looking at these apartments and stuff? And he was never looking. And so once our lease was up, because he would, even though his mom lived in the same city where he got the job at in Georgia, so he would work up there in Georgia for that week, and then every weekend he would come back home to Jacksonville. Yes, to Jacksonville every single last weekend. So Friday when he got off work, he would get on the road Friday night. He would be back home like Saturday, like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, spend the weekend with us and go back. He did that every weekend. When our lease was up, the agreement was to get rid of everything. I would move back in with my parents for about 2-3 months tops. That way I can save up money, and then I'll be able to move to Georgia with him. And then within that time frame, he was supposed to be looking for an apartment and, you know, have everything ready to go. So after them 3 months was up, like, I'll be in Georgia and everything, y'all, our lease ended. I threw away all the furniture. I threw away all the furniture. I lost my job. I lost my job. I was working at the police department, and even though I hated it there, I really hated it there, but the hours that I had at that time, I was working, the hours that I had at that time, I was working 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. and Jaden had to be picked up from daycare at 6 p.m. So at that time, he would go pick up Jaden from school within that time frame or whatever for me until I got home. So when he moved and accepted that job in Georgia, I no longer had childcare. I no longer had someone to pick up Jaden for me. So I had to quit that job. So not only did I get rid of all of the stuff in my apartment, I quit my job. I found a new job, which was the last job that I just quit my 9-to-5 at, because I work full time now. I had to find a new job. Y'all, I literally had to start over from zero. And I ended up, like, when I lived in my parents' house, that's when we broke up. We broke up when I moved in with my parents' house, and me living in my parents' house has never been a good thing. Like, it should always only be a temporary thing, because me and my mom, we bump heads a lot. So it was literally like living in hell for 6 months. So I literally hit rock bottom. I lost all my furniture. I had to lose my job. I had to start over. And at the same time, I'm running a business. I had received like a couple chargebacks around that time. Like, life was really stressful. And I will say, in that time period, Mario was a great friend to me. He was a great friend to me. Going through that, he always has been a great friend. And then that friendship just grew into a relationship. So yeah, that's a long story, but that's a little background. Somebody say, do you want more kids? Yes, I want a whole tribe, sis. I want a whole tribe, Let me pause and take pictures of this wig and stuff, and because I need to take pictures of these wigs so I can package them up. But yes, sis, I want a whole tribe. I want a lot. I want a lot of kids, okay? This hair is so pretty. Somebody asked how old am I? So I am 26. I'm 26, but I feel younger. I'm 26, but I feel 25. Can I stay 25 forever? Y'all, when they say time goes by fast, time goes by so freaking fast. Time goes by fast. Time goes by so freaking fast. Like, just yesterday I was in college. Just yesterday I was in high school. Like, just yesterday I was 21. Like, how did I get to 26? I don't even like saying I'm 26. I don't even like saying I'm 26. Do it look like it's Halloween?
Isn't it August?
Halloween is in October.
October. Isn't it October?
It's August. August, September, October. You still got 2 months.
2 months?
But yeah, time goes by so freaking fast. My ex used to tell me this all the time because he was much older than me. He would always say, like, Ebony at 21 and Ebony at 25 is going to be two completely different people. And I'd be like, what you mean? Like, what you mean? Like, I'm 21, I'm grown. Like, stop you trying to make it seem like I'm a child still. I'm grown. Like, it ain't gonna be no difference. I'm gonna be the same at 25 that I am at 21. And it is a difference. It's a huge difference. A huge difference. How do you keep your energy up, like your motivation, even when you feel exhausted? Honestly, it's gonna sound cliche, but it gotta come from within. Like, I know sitting around all day, because there are moments and times where I do sit around all day, and it's a lot of moments where I do get unmotivated and I don't feel encouraged and I just feel stuck. It don't last for too long because I got bills. I got a lot of bills that gotta get paid and I have a lot of responsibilities. So laying in bed all day and like not having any energy and not feeling motivated, it doesn't help me. Like, I got bills to pay. So that's what keeps me motivated. Where you finna go? I told you I was gonna be ready in a little bit. Important to always give yourself. It's important to always give yourself like days for you. Okay, they keep interrupting my video. So I will say it is important to take care of yourself and have like self-care days. At least have one day out of the week that is solely dedicated for you and only you. So if you need to relax, if you need to go out and do something for yourself to get yourself like back to where you need to be, you know, maybe you need to get your nails done, maybe you need to get your hair done, maybe you need to get your lashes done or something. Like, always do something for yourself, because it's easy to lose yourself, especially as a woman when we have so much going on. You might have school, you may have a job, you may have children, you may have people that you're in a relationship with, like you have businesses, so you have a lot of stuff going on. It's easy to lose yourself and not have a lot of time for yourself. So you have to be able to, you need to at least have one day out of the week where you can be selfish and when you focus on you and your needs, because everything's gonna fall apart if you don't do that. Make sure you get enough sleep. I understand like being a boss and everything. I understand being a boss and even if you still work a job like a 9 to 5, it is very easy to come home and feel like you have to stay up all night working in your business, because if you don't, nothing will get done. But honestly, you cannot put in you cannot your work isn't going to be as efficient and effective as it would be if you got some sleep. So definitely make sure you are getting enough sleep every night. But I know it's easier said than done, but you have no choice but to make sure you go to bed every night, and make sure you are selfish and you are having a self-care day or a day all about you at least once a week, because it makes a huge difference, and it'll cut down on all of those days where you lose motivation, and all of that good stuff. See, this is another cute wig with some pretty hair. This hair and the other hair look very similar. They look very similar now after I put water on them, but they were very different curl patterns when I first got them. And then that was pretty much all the questions I was asked. I can definitely do another one of these videos. If anybody else have any questions, or maybe something y'all want to talk about, maybe like something outside of business that y'all want to talk about, maybe I can talk about how to overcome that part of my life that I was just kind of speaking on, when my ex left me and I had to start all over from scratch. Like starting life all over from scratch. This was literally 2.5 years ago. Maybe not 2.5. It had to be 2 years ago. It was like 2 years ago. But yeah, if y'all want me to talk about stuff other, because I know my channel, we mainly talk about like business related stuff, but we don't have to always just talk about business related stuff. Like if there's like topics that you guys want me to speak on, it can be like current events. I'm kind of I'm boring, but I'm very up to date with like current events, so it can be like maybe something in the media or news that's happening, you want my input on it, or Ebony, how you feel about this, or what's your take on that. I don't mind. One thing about me, I'm a very open. Jaden, what are you doing? I'm a very open-minded person, so I'm not closed-minded. I'm very open-minded. I'm one of those people that can always see all sides of a story. I can always, see everybody's perspective on different issues and stuff. So we can talk about a lot of stuff on this channel. Talking about relationships, like I feel like I can give some really good relationship advice. Maybe that's what we can do. Maybe we can do like a thing where I give advice. I feel like I give really good advice. I've experienced a lot and I've overcome a lot of different situations. So I feel like I can give really good advice. So I also ordered some stickers, but until I get my stickers, and they're actually going to be on transparent papers, so with the clear background, until I get what I need, I just print off my logo in the I print off my logo using the adhesive paper that I purchased from Amazon, the same adhesive paper that I print out my labels on. And then I'm just gonna add this to each package, and then I'm gonna put each, then I'm gonna put this in here. A lot of people get confused too, the fact that I use this, the polymailers, and then I put the polymailers inside of a padded envelope. The only reason why I use a polymailers for my wigs is because I have nothing to put my wigs in that's pretty. Like if I had a pretty pink box or a pretty pink bag, or if I had a satin bag that was big enough to fit my wigs, I would put my wigs in there. But because I don't have that, I just put it in one of these bags because it's pink and it's pretty. And then I ship out packages. Any of my packages, if it's a wig or if it weighs more than 1 pound, I ship it out in priority mail flat rate packages because it comes out cheaper that way. Right, so put it inside of here, and then I'm gonna put the shipping label on there as well.